evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for coming out on this hot evening, but this is a very worthwhile effort, and it's a pleasure for me to be here right in the midst of East Rosemont community to make sure that we highlight and support and get behind the next city council person for the 2nd District. It is my privilege and honor to introduce one of our hard-working community activists. He is the former president of the Bel Air Edison Community Association. His name is Mr. Tony Dawson. Yay. Give him a hand.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm happy to be here, and I'm glad that you guys are happy to be here as well. And it's a great turnout for a great person. And this guy is a friend of mine. I've been knowing for the last 5 years. He has supported my community, and we have supported him. And one of the greatest things that the mayor could have ever done was hire Brandon on as one of her assistants. And I'm so grateful to our Madam Mayor for bringing him on, because he's a young man that's well beyond his age. He's mature far beyond his age. And we definitely want to support him and do what is necessary to do to make him win come September. At this time, I'd like to introduce to you the Mayor of Baltimore City, the Honorable Stephanie Rawlings Blake.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to all of you. I can't tell you how happy and proud I am to be here, to see so many members, strong, committed members of the community here in support of Brandon's candidacy. I met Brandon when I was running for City Council President, and I was so excited because I saw in him, I'm sure, the same thing that people saw in me when I was first started on the campaign trail with my dad years ago. The things that I appreciated so much was a total lack of ego and an all-encompassing commitment to making his community better. I got that sense from the moment I met him, and he's proven me right day after day. He is so committed to strengthening his neighborhood, his community. He is tireless. You can call him at 7 a.m., 7 p.m., 3 a.m., 3 p.m. It doesn't matter. He's always there with one thing on his mind, and that is getting the best for the people that he cares about. So I'm very proud, very, very proud that the next generation of Baltimore's leaders are stepping up to the plate, that he's certainly done his time, put his time in working for the community. I'm pleased, so pleased to be here in support of Brandon Scott. And I'm also glad that I'm not standing here by myself, that Delegate Glenn is here, that Councilman D'Adamo is here, and that so many of you are here. So it is my privilege to bring forward a councilman who I'm going to be sad to see leave. You know, it's interesting because I think everyone on the council has a funny, a comical relationship with Nick. He's like a brother. Sometimes he's a brother you never wish you never had, and sometimes Nick is the brother that you can always depend on. And he has been a tremendous asset to the district. And he said, I knew. When he said he announced that he was retiring, I knew he meant it. That his family had made so many sacrifices over the year to allow him to live his dream of public service. And like so many I respect, he thought it was important to pass the torch to the next generation. So I am going to be sad to see Nick go, but I'm also glad that he understands the importance of his legacy, and part of that legacy is passing the torch to someone who can carry on a strong tradition in this district. So, as we are doing our last budget together, as councilman, I am so proud to bring up Councilman Nick D'Adamo to introduce Brandon.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Brandon, come on up here, my friend. There's bad news and good news. What do you want to hear first, the bad news
Yeah, bad news first.
I decided to run again. Now you want to hear the good news?
Yes, sir.
I decided to endorse you as the next leader of the City Council. Let me tell you about Brandon Scott that a lot of people don't know. When I announced about 3 years ago that it was time to retire after 7 terms, I was wondering who's going to take my seat. Who's going to run for my seat? And a young guy named Brandon Scott, at that time, 23 years old, came in my office and he said, "Councilman, I'd like to follow your footsteps and be the next councilman from your district." There was no questions at that time that he's the guy that could do the job. And it's funny because I was 26 when I first got elected, and he's 26. And what Brandon has is what I think people look for in elected officials. Number one, you're late today. Elected officials are always late. 2, the only thing is you're calm. I was nervous when I made my announcement at 26. But what you have in Brandon, you have someone that's very mature. He's 26.
27, yeah.
27, but acts 35. And I mean that in a good way. He returns phone calls. He works day and night. He's definitely got people skills. And you know what? Today, all you can ask for a leader is be honest with you. And Brandon's an honest person. And ask for a return phone call. He will return a phone call. I learned from late Mimi DePietro what it is to be a public servant. And I think Brandon has got the same skills that Mimi DePietro had, that Nick D'Adamo has, and what we're looking for as a replacement in the 2nd Councilman District. The district will not shortchange herself at all by electing Brandon Scott. I can assure you that. You know, the good thing is I'm happy to go out on top. The downside of it is I'm looking for a job, Madam Mayor. Brandon Scott, I come cheap. I'll work as assistant to you. But all kidding on side, you know what? Don't take this race lightly, because I don't know who's registered so far. But funny things happen on Election Day. People say he's got it sewed up, he's going to win, and then don't let that be turned around where he comes up short. Every vote counts. Everybody needs to put a lawn sign up. Everyone needs to make a phone call. And the main thing is, folks, everybody needs to vote Election Day, because the turnout in Baltimore City is going down after every election. And, you know, like I said, we can't afford to let that happen. So I'm proud to stand here in front of all the leaders from Northeast Baltimore saying that there's no question in my mind the right person to be the next council person from the 2nd Councilman District, which I support not 100%, 150%, is my good friend, Brandon Scott.